In this video, we're going to finalize our tag builder. So in the previous video, we learned how to build all the fancy syntaxes for the update.turbostream view. We are going to do the same for the create turbostream and destroy turbostream views in this video. So just before we start, I left a small typo here. So we have to close the template HTML tag, otherwise it will cause an issue when we have multiple templates in a single view. So it wasn't a problem here because we were rendering only one template tag per view, so HTML was forgiving, but it will be a problem here, so make sure that you just correct this small typo here. So the first thing we want to do is to replace this line here with turbostream.update, and then the target is article.new because this article.new will be converted to new article here, and the content is an empty string. So this here is the content, and it turns out the only thing we have to do is basically to copy paste the replace method and convert it to an update method. So the only thing that really changes is that the action name is update, but we are able to do exactly the same thing that we did with the replace method in the update.turbostream view with the update method in the create.turbostream view. So let's just test it rapidly. So I'm refreshing the page and create another article, and if I save, well, everything works as expected. So now what we're going to do is to do the prepend method. So what we want to do is to say turbostream.prepend. The target here is the article's string, and what we want to render is this actually. So we are going to pass it this way. We don't have to specify the format anymore because it is done at the tag builder level. So let's just completely remove this, and we have to create our method. Our method is named prepend in that case, and once again it's the same thing, right? We only change the action name, and the rest of the rendering process should be exactly the same. So let's test it. I'm just going to delete this one and to create another article one more time, and as we can see, it works as expected. So we're going to add just one last layer of syntactic sugar here. What we would like to be able to write is this, right? But this doesn't work yet, because when I write this here in the tag builder, the article instance variable is the content, and in the render template the content is always rendered as is with no transformation. So what we're going to say is that if the content respond to the toPartialPath method, then we are going to use our view context once again to render the partial equal to, well, the content in that case, and we will specify the formats to be HTML, and otherwise we will leave the content unchanged. So let's test it very quickly. I'm going to delete the article once again and create another one, and if I save, it works as expected. So that was our last layer of syntactic sugar for this create turbostream view. So we're done with the create turbostream view, we're done with the update turbostream view, and the last view that we have to build is the destroy turbostream view. So for this, we're going to say turbostream.remove, and the target is the DOM ID of the article here. And the remove method is a little bit different because, well, it makes no sense to generate HTML for the remove method, right? What we want to do is only to remove HTML. So what we're going to say is that the action is remove, and we're only removing HTML from a target here. So what we have to say is that we don't want to render a template in the case of the remove actions. So here we're going to say unless name of the action is remove. And the same goes here, right? We don't want to render a template here if the action is removed. So what we're going to say is that if action is remove, then we are going to render an empty string, and otherwise we will render what we had previously. So let's just remove this and test that it works as expected. We're going to go in the console, click delete, and as we can see, we have no additional error here. And if we inspect the response, we can see that we have the expected HTML. So this was a really big piece of code, and what we learned to do basically is to create a view object that is responsible for generating HTML with a very nice API. And in the next video, we will learn how to test this object.